Morning, Trainiacs. One of the biggest problems with swim coaching is that swim coaches, they have a tendency to hand down drills to you just because it was handed down to them. Now that doesn't mean that that is a good drill for you to do. Drills for triathlon need to be really specific to you because age group triathletes, we don't have the amount of time that those elite swim coaches had when they were coming up getting those drills prescribed to them. We aren't swimming nearly as much as they were when they were coming up as kids. We have to be really efficient with our time, and we have unique circumstances that require us to prepare for open water as opposed to pool swimming, which is where most swim coaches end up learning these drills. So what we're going to give you today is we're going to give you 7 drills that any triathlete can learn. We're going to give you the ability to identify if it's a drill that should even be something you should think about, and how to execute the drill. Alright, so first off, all of these drills are assuming that you've got some basic comfort and capability in the pool. And the test we use for that is, can you swim 400 meters or yards without a break and without feeling out of breath whatsoever at the end? If you can't yet do that, then focus on our book, triathlonswimfoundations.com, which helps build that comfort in the pool. Let's assume that you already have that comfort and capability. These are the 7 drills that I think are really good for triathletes. Okay, so the first 2 drills you should do have to do with propulsion. Pushing yourself through the water. And the way to figure out if you need to work on this is by doing the propulsion drill. For that, get yourself a snorkel and a pull buoy. Put on the snorkel and the pull buoy, go face down in the water, don't kick, don't swim, just lie and float in the water. And once you're doing that, then put your hands into this V and push yourself forward. And if you find that it takes you quite a long time to get across the other side of the pool, or you don't feel a big whoosh of power when you do that, you need to work on your propulsion. And the first drill that you can use to do that is the long single arm sculling drill. And the long single arm sculling drill is really, really good because it helps you figure out where your hand needs to be at every single part of the stroke. The single arm scull drill is where you're in the water, one arm is stretched overhead, and then with the other arm, you scull your way back, and that is the only real propulsion that you get. And you're sculling the entire way back, and by doing that, you're feeling where your elbow, where your arm, where your hand needs to be throughout the entire stroke. And this helps you get the feel of where the arms need to be. That's the first drill. Second drill, very related. Second drill related to that is fist swimming. So once you've got the sense of where your arms need to be, then you've got to start developing the feel for the water. Now, where do you want that feel for the water? Well, you want it to be down the entire length of your palm and forearm. Now, it's easy to scoop the water and feel the water with that palm, but it's a lot harder with the forearm. So how you end up actually developing that feel for the water with the forearm is by closing your fists and taking them out of the equation. And what you do is you just swim with your fists, and it's going to force you to get that hand and arm angled down, and then you're going to feel actually grabbing the water with your forearm, and you want to feel pulling back and having pressure on the forearm the entire way through the stroke. You want to use fist swimming to develop that feel, or you're going to be essentially just trying to push yourself forward with like 40% capacity. That's the second drill. The third drill has to do with, are you efficient in the water? Now, are you efficient in the water? This I can answer with just about 100% certainty, pretty close to 100% certainty for age group triathlon swimmers who didn't grow up with a swim background. And I can almost guarantee that if you're watching this, you did not grow up with a swim background, this drill is going to help you. Because most of us are used to being really upright. We face the world completely vertical, it's very unnatural for us to be horizontal in the water and have our legs almost in behind us. So we need to develop that ability to get those legs up close to the surface of the water. And one of the drills that you use to do that is you use the Tombstone drill. So what you're doing with the Tombstone drill is you're putting on the snorkel again, you're going face down in the water, and you are crossing your arms, and this is going to allow you to press that chest into the water. You're just going to very so gently press that chest into the water. And by pressing the chest into the water, it's going to give you a little bit of buoyancy. And if you then activate your core and kick really gently, you're going to feel that nice, efficient body position where your feet are all of a sudden at the surface of the water. And what you want to do is just feel that back of head, back of shoulders, butt, and heels kissing through the surface of the water. And that is going to be a nice, efficient swim stroke. So that's the third drill. The fourth drill has to do with kicking if you find that your kicking isn't effective. This next drill is kicking, but it's kicking in a little bit of a unique manner that you probably aren't doing. Most people, when they do kick sets, they get a kickboard and they stick their head out of the water, put their goggles up, but what this ends up creating is the tendency to sink your legs, the exact opposite of what you want to do. The proper way to kick is to do it with just a snorkel, or maybe snorkel and fins. You might be able to use a board, but you want to use a snorkel to keep your face in the water. Now, the test for do you need to work on your kick is, can you kick across a 25-meter or a yard pool in under 40 seconds? And if you can't do that, that probably means that your kick is either inefficient or your body is creating drag and turbulence. So how you want to do this is just put a snorkel on, extend your arms way over top of your head, and then you want to kick with back of head, back of shoulders, butt, heels at the surface of the water, kicking within a narrow, about 12 to 18 inch channel. And then here's the key. You want to make sure that your upper body isn't rocking side to side. If you are taking longer than 40 seconds and your back of head, butt, and heels are all at the surface of the water, it's most likely that you're actually creating a lot of turbulence and wiggling side to side. You have to activate your core so that you can swim dead straight. We call that swimming like a log. That's the fourth drill. The fifth drill is how do we actually then bring that into normal swimming? So let's say you've developed that nice stable body position. You know where your arms should be, but then when you start actually swimming, all hell breaks loose and you aren't swimming very well. In this case, what I would recommend that you do is, if it just doesn't feel very good, get somebody to videotape you. It can just be just like with a smartphone camera or with a GoPro from overhead. And if you see that your arm is off to the side, if it's crossing over, if your legs are splaying wide, if you have a banana shape, if it's anything besides that perfect dead straight log-like form that we want to see, this drill is going to help you. This is the breathe 3 strokes breathe drill. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to put on a snorkel. Fins might help as well, but certainly a snorkel. And what you're going to start with is you're going to start with a little bit of side kicking, focusing on that back of head, butt, heels at the surface of the water, nice stable upper body. And then what you're going to do is kick, 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 then take 3 strokes, and then be on your side and kick, 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 kick on the other side. And when you're doing those 3 strokes, focus on being in a nice narrow channel. So the benefit to this is that instead of having to swim across the end of the pool and you're taking 20, 30, 60 strokes and all of them have to be good, and by the end of that length you have fallen apart, in this case you only have to worry about 3 good strokes. And when you're worrying about those 3 good strokes, think about being straight, that your hand is out front from your shoulder. When you end up pulling back, you're pulling back and you're just going in a straight line. And when you are kicking, you're in that nice narrow channel and you're just turning from side to side. That's going to help you bring all of those few things that we had developed in the first few drills into normal swimming. So that's the 5th drill. how do you then take this into open water? So let's say you get into your triathlons and you notice that even though the race course says 750 meters, you swim 900 somehow on your Garmin watch. Or it's a 1900 meter half Ironman and you somehow swim 2200 meters. Well, this is really, really common. Most age group triathlon swimmers swim somewhere around 5 to at least 10% off course. And this is making your swim 5 to 10% longer, 5 to 10% slower. The key to making sure that your swim is as short as possible is making sure that you are swimming in a straight line. And this is where sighting comes in. And you don't just go into open water and all of a sudden learn how to sight. You have to practice your sighting in the pool. And the correct way to sight is that as you are swimming, you bring your eyes up. I usually go basically just to the tip of my nose, get a sight of where I want to look at, and then take that breath. So it's up and to the side, up and to the side. And the key is that you want to look at something, say at the end of the pool, that is a marker. And you want to get a very clear image of that marker. And you need to then sight as many times as it takes to get the clear image. This is going to build the habit for you of sighting as many times as you need to in open water to spot the buoy. Most age group triathletes are actually sighting once every 20 strokes or 30 strokes. You want to sight probably once every 3 to 5, and you do that by being comfortable sighting in the pool. So that's the 6th drill. For the 7th drill, what happens at the end of the swim? So for the final drill, let's say you've done a few triathlons and you know that when you get onto the start of the bike, or when you get into transition 1, or when you get out of the water, you get a heart rate spike, or you just kind of feel like, oh, once you get onto the bike, you have to kind of catch your breath before you can start eating or drinking. This is really common because what happens is we go from our body being horizontal and all the blood not really having to work against gravity to boom. All of a sudden, your body has to reroute the blood flow instantly. And the vast majority of triathletes don't ever practice deck ups. This is essentially a swim to bike brick effort. Now you're not going swim to bike because we aren't going swim to bike. We are going swim to run to bike in a triathlon. So these athletes that end up doing trainer sets on the pool deck because they want to be able to bike after the pool, yeah, great. But the more key thing to know how to do is go from swimming to running. That's the actual reroute of blood flow that we want to train. So what you want to do are deck ups where throughout the course of a swim set, you are just picking some intervals where you are actually getting out of the pool, going vertical, maybe jogging to the end of the pool deck and then coming back and diving back in. And doing that over and over is going to get you comfortable with being able to go from horizontal to vertical so that essentially you aren't spending your pennies, it's called. You're not expending energy in just getting to transition. You want to expend your energy just in swim, bike, run. So you're going to conserve that energy by not having that heart rate spike as you come out of the water. And that's the 7th drill that I think is critical for age group triathlon swimmers. I'm chilly. Okay, so those are the 7 drills that I recommend. Now, a few things. Number 1, if you find that these drills are difficult, add in fins and a snorkel. They're going to make things much, much easier as you progress into actually being comfortable with the drill. Second thing is that if you aren't yet at the point that any of these feel easy within a few weeks of doing them, that's an indication that you need to develop some comfort in the water. And this video right down here will help develop that comfort. It's kind of the basis for what our Triathlon Swimming Foundations book is based off of. And final thing, if you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button below. We come out with triathlon training tips several times a week. Later, Trainiacs, we're gonna warm up.